If someone asks how much it costs and your answer kills the conversation, the problem usually isn't your price. It's how you handled the question. I'm Brian Diaz, co-founder of Monstro-X, where we help gyms and martial arts schools increase retention, boost referrals, and grow revenue using behavioral psychology and better business systems. And one thing I've learned is this. When someone asks for price, they're usually not just asking about price. A lot of times, what they're really asking is this for me? Is this for my kid? Will this help with what I want? Am I too old or out of shape? Am I too beginner? Is it worth it? Am I about to waste my time? That's what most owners miss. They think the lead is asking a pricing question, so they answer with a number. And that usually creates one of two problems. The first mistake is they answer too fast. They just fire back the price. No questions, no context, no value. And now the lead compares you to every other option in town like you're all the same. That's dangerous. Because once the only thing they have to compare is price, you've turned your business into a commodity. The second mistake is they dodge the question so hard that they sound shady. The lead asks, how much does it cost? And the owner says, you have to come in first. That doesn't feel good either. Because now the prospect feels like you're hiding something. So what's the right move? You don't ignore the question, but you also don't rush to answer it like the number is the whole conversation. Slow it down. Get some context first. Because before you can talk about price the right way, you need to know who's it for, what do they want, and where are they starting from. That's the real shift. When someone asks for price, your job is not just to answer. Your job is to start a real conversation so you can solve their problem. That means asking a couple of simple questions like, is this for you or a child? What's your main goal right now? Do you have any experience? What kind of training are you looking for? Now, why does this matter? Because now you're not guessing. You can actually guide the person. Now you can build value around what matters to them. If it's a parent, maybe the goal is confidence, focus, or discipline. If it's an adult, maybe the goal is weight loss, self-defense, or just getting back into shape. If it's someone brand new, they may need to hear that your program meets beginners where they are. If it's someone experienced, they may need to know they'll still be challenged. That changes the whole conversation, because now instead of just giving a price, you're helping them to understand why this program fits them. That's what makes the trial feel like the next obvious step. For example, if someone asks, how much does it cost? A better response might be, sure, happy to help. Is this for you or a child? And what are you mainly looking for? That's simple. It doesn't ignore the question. It just slows the conversation down enough for you to get useful information. Then once they answer, you can say something like, got it, that helps. Based on what you're looking for, I think this could be a really good fit. We do have a few options depending on the program and how often you want to train, but the next best step would be to come in for a trial so you can see the class, meet the coach, and make sure it feels right for you. That works a lot better. Why? Because now the person feels heard. The recommendation feels personal, and the trial doesn't feel like a sales trap. It feels like the next logical step, and that's the key. The goal is not to win the pricing text. The goal is to move the person forward, because people are not going to decide based on price alone. Not if they haven't seen the place, met the coach, felt the culture, or understood the difference between you and the cheaper option down the street. Price matters, of course it does, but price without context usually feels expensive. Price after relevance feels different. That's why answering too early can cost you the sale. Not because the number's wrong, but because you gave the number before the person had any reason to value it. And that's where a lot of owners lose control. They think transparency means blurting out the number right away. That's not transparency. That's lazy selling. Real transparency is helping the lead understand what fits, what to expect, and what the next step should be. That's a very different thing. Now, does that mean that you can never give pricing over text, DM, or phone? No. Sometimes you should. But even then, the best move is to usually get a little context first, then answer in a way that leads somewhere. Because the real objective is not just to answer the question, it's to book the trial. That's where trust gets built. That's where value gets felt. That's where the sale gets easier. So if you want to answer, how much does it cost? Without losing the lead, here's the simple rule. Don't dodge the question, but don't answer it like a robot either. Ask a few questions, get some context, build value around their goal, then move them toward the trial. Because when someone asks for price, they're usually not telling you no. They're trying to decide if it feels safe to keep going. And your job is to guide that conversation the right way. So if you want more videos on how to grow your gym or martial arts school the right way, like, follow, or subscribe to our channel. And if you want help building better scripts, better systems, better follow-up, so more leads turn into trials, then book a discovery call with my team. If this hits home, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.